Why, hello there. We're just going with a quick little video here to talk about a dream I had on, I guess you would say, the morning of New Year's Day. Went to sleep pretty late into the New Year's, that early morning, you could say. And I usually don't talk about my dreams in public. Certain visions and things go down, but this one feels pretty important. So if it resonates with you, it resonates with you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm in the dream. I'm what appears to be on kind of like the Northwest Sound, and I'm on a beach on a coastline, and I'm able to see at an incredible distance across the sound at, forest nature. Yet all of a sudden there was smokestacks starting to arise. And the first one that went up almost had this kind of like mushroom cloud appearance. It was pretty big, it was really long, and then it started kind of fan out. And as I'm curious about it, I look and then I'm almost like zoomed over to the actual location of where the explosion was. And it was Eastern European architecture, it reminded me of like Russian architecture. And I see, these buildings and things kind of just fade away almost like dust in the wind. And I zoom back and then I see another smokestack kind of off in the distance this way. And then boom, and same thing happens. I look towards it and it just gives me like Asian architecture, almost like that kind of curvature roof. Same concept, dissolves in the wind. The ashes just kind of blow away. And then I zoom back out, back to where I'm at the coastline. And then there is another smokestack that arises. And it appears to be very like Western architecture. Couldn't tell if it was like a East Coast city, West Coast city, but it just felt like the West. So as I zoom back this time, I start to see in the water people on paddle boards, jet skis, boats, ferries, just kind of fleeing the coastline. And this is where I feel it's important to talk about. So I've had some kind of interesting horde-like zombie dreams before. And the reason why I'm speaking on it now is because the last ones were before the pandemic, um, before one of the kind of like financial crashes. And this is kind of the same type of feeling. There was just a lot of fear and panic. And as I see people starting to flee, not only now on boat, but on foot, I start to see these very like zombie-esque, grotesque looking creatures. And this is kind of where the dream gets really interesting because this is kind of the message for everyone in terms of what follows here. Now, the more that you were fearful of the horde, we'll call them, the more they kind of like locked in and targeted on you. Now, as I turn around in this dream, I'm now in a house and I'm trying to warn everyone, like, oh my gosh, we need to lock the doors. And then they just start busting in like SWAT team. And the only times that these creatures seem to stop in the dream was when I stopped having a fear. It's not only not having a fear, but it's also when I stopped trying to save other people. When I truly allowed myself to completely disconnect from the actual horde and just paid it no attention, they seemingly just lost me in their vision. I could walk around, they weren't noticing me. And at this point, this is where I was actually seeing how they were getting created. And through some friends talking with it, it was almost like this demon like Lilith creature, this almost like alien-esque looking weird dark feminine energy. And a lot of people say Lilith goes back to like Adam's first wife, but that's just some woke nonsense. It's actually, goes into Babylonian demonology. Like she was one of the original demons. It really brings out like the nasty core of human spirit. And it's actually said that from Babylonian times that she is kind of plaguing humanity with some of her spells of really bringing out that evil lustfulness, that I guess you would say the primal aspects, but the bad stuff, all the darker natures of the lust, of the greed, of the corruption. And the interesting thing about this dream was the more you tried to attack the horde, the more grotesque that they got. Yet there was some moments where you could see them having like these open cuts and wounds, and the blood that they had was really dark green, like almost like a black tar. Now, again, I'm in the dream, this little cinematic movie, and somewhat lucid in it. And as I recognize that, I'm like, okay, well, no longer have fear. I'm no longer trying to save anyone. I'm allowing myself just to be within myself. That's when I had this kind of like wild, magical dope looking scythe axe come up, and then it was just kind of like heyday. And then after that, it kind of woke up. But after really analyzing and looking at this dream, I've come to really determine that this is, as I kind of see it, like a financial warning, that there is going to be some type of an event. There's going to be maybe a chain of events that's going to start almost, you could say, like the Eastern European front, and then it's going to ripple across throughout Asia, and then it's going to end up in the West. Now, the reason why I say this is because of the way the smokestacks appeared, the way that it was kind of just like old systems, dust in the wind. We all are that are in the know are all aware that, Babylon is falling right now, that we're witnessing the decline of the persecution and really the slavery of mankind. So this is one of the things too, again, when things kind of hit the fan, I have a feeling it's going to be directly rooted to money, because that is the thing that really brings out the worst in people. It's one of the real reasons why we have modern day slavery. And it's why we have this kind of greed, that power, absolute power corrupts all, because everyone's focused on getting out of the rat race through money. That's what I think the representation of that dark green blood is, and why it's almost like Tari is because that's technically probably the fall of the US dollar, which is a US petrodollar base. So yeah, the big message with this one is when shit hits the fan, focus on you, focus on yourself. Don't get swept away in what everyone else and what everything else is happening and what everyone else is doing. Really just remain sovereign within your own light. Hold your own light. Don't be scared of the situation. Allow yourself to see it clearly at a distance and just watch it all play out. I know that there's going to be a lot of great things coming, but we can't have creation without destruction. So I hope that if this resonates with you, or if you've been having dreams yourself, um, or different visions, that leave them in the comments. I'm definitely curious to see what everyone else is tapping into. I'm one of 3 people now that I know that has had some type of like zombie horde-esque vision, that when they detach from the fear, the hysteria, the whatever emotions or vices that stemmed from their vision of the horde, that they transcended it and then something beautiful came. And I know that there is a lot of goodness on the other side of this tumultuous journey we're all on. So it's time to look out for each other in the pre-break, because when stuff goes down, I have a feeling that it's going to be up to us for really just honing our light and focusing in. Hey, thank you for witnessing the experience. I hope that it resonates on some level. But again, the most important thing to realize and remember right now is focus on yourself. Hone your light. Allow your cup to overflow, because only when that cup is overflowing can others drink from the saucer. Other than that, I'll catch you with y'all tomorrow for Satsang. Take care, stay safe yourself, and I love you all. Peace.